Hello, everybody. Welcome to the sofa. We've got a guest on the sofa. We got to make some room behind me. Y'all know how it goes here. If you could please drop a number 1 in the comment section if you can hear me talking, so that I'm not just talking to myself, even though I fully am on board with that and I do answer myself all the time and have full-blown conversations. Okay, we got a 1 from Amanda and Mama. Hello, everybody, and John and Chelsea and Gretchen and Heather. Hello, everybody, and Miss Emily. Welcome the mods to the station or to the sofa. I guess you could call it a station too. I don't know. I hope everybody's doing well. Now, y'all, you already see I have a guest here. We have Miss Kathy from Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo, and let me unmute her here. Hello,
hey girl. Kathy. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's so nice to see so many people here. Oh my gosh, this is so lovely.
It's so good to have you here. How's it? How are you? How are all the things?
I'm good. I'm traveling for work this week. I've been telling my channel I'm at an undisclosed snowy location. I'm going to tell them all where I've been when I get back home. But I told Paul where I'm at, so he can come and join me up here if you'd like.
Oh, hey. I'm on my way.
We'll start a scandal. We run off together.
I know, right? Can you imagine if it was like tomorrow we're like doing like sledding and all this kind of stuff? That would be crazy. Oh
that
my
would be
gosh.
awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming to hang out. So for those who don't know or have no whatever, so Kathy has her channel, Gossip, Rumor, Innuendo. We were both on Gigi's channel, Pretty Lies and Alibis. I can't in the last week, whatever.
Last weekend, last Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember which day.
Okay. Yeah, it's already the weekend again. It's crazy. I'm literally thinking, like, was it like 3 months ago we did that? I'm like, no, it was a few days ago.
It's like yesterday and last year. That's what it feels like. Yeah, for sure.
No. But we did that along with a lot of other wonderful creators. And so I've been wanting to talk to Kathy on here for a while and whatnot, but it's just one of those things where it's like finally lined up. And I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. I've practically sat on the sofa with her. Let's make it happen. So thank you for taking time out of your already busy schedule to come hang out on the sofa for a little bit.
Thank you so much for having me. Listen, forever people have been saying, you guys should get together. And I was like, I have a teensy little channel. He has no idea who I am. There's no way that's happening.
Oh,
so
no.
I was thrilled to get your email. I was so excited. I was like, I'm in the big time now. I'm going to be on the sofa.
Right. Well, I'm glad. I'm honored to have you on the sofa. And yeah, I've heard people have been saying the same thing to me and all that. And it's just, you know, how life just gets busy. And it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I'm going to email Kathy. And then like it's 2 months go by. Oh, I'm going to email. Oh, 3 months go. And then I'm just like, okay, this is happening. This is happening. We're starting the new year off. So, first of all, if you could, so just tell, at least for me, or maybe your viewers already know, or my viewers, I don't know, what got you into true crime? Like what started it off? Like how did we arrive here today with you on the sofa?
Well, first of all, I'm nosy. I'm not even like a recovering nosy person. I am a full on curtain twitcher. I'm like peeking. I want to know what happened. I want to know all your business. But also, my mom loves true crime. I grew up with her, like following little cases in the newspaper or the movie of the week. And more modern true crime, I felt like I would look out in the landscape of the world and everybody was all about like the trauma porn of it. And I was like, okay, I want to know what happened, but I don't want to have to go to therapy because I watched this report. So I was like, I don't need to know all the facts. I want to know like the broad strokes, the facts, the FAX, not the FACTS. So I was like, and I was watching the Murdaugh trial, and Dick Harpootlian or Jim Griffin, one of Murdoch's lawyers, said, we are not here for the gossip, the rumor, and the innuendo. And then he went on and said something else. I was like, that is exactly the reason I'm here. I want to know everything, what's happening, what happened with the housekeeper who fell down. I want to know everything, but I want to know the gossip, the rumor, and the innuendo. So I didn't want people to be confused and think that I was like Reuters or something. So I talk about true crime as if me and you were sitting on the sofa, me and you were at the coffee shop, like, girl, did you see what happened? And that is my entire approach to it. And I do light research. Light.
That is awesome. Yes, that I love how you came up with your name. I love how you came up with your name. Um, and, I love that. You really put that into words that, I have not been able to, and I was telling you before we started, I was listening to one of your videos that you did, like one of your shorts or your members video or something, where you were talking about that right there, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you really put that into words." It's, like, such a great way to describe that. Because like we were saying before, I'm kinda the same way where it's like, pardon me, like I've used humor and laughter to get through my own BS and trauma in life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
it's really helped me, and that's how I kinda deal with stuff there. Um,
for
but,
sure.
and hey, Derek, thanks for joining in, and everybody could send out shout outs to Derek. He's going through a lot of stuff right now with his father, and so I'm
Yay,
really
Derek, feel
thinking of
better.
him and
I hope your
hope
dad feels
everything's
better.
well and sending love and whatnot. Yeah, Holly says, "Oh, poot poot." That's why I got to come. Oh, poot. Now, one thing that was
Yep.
interesting on the note of him is so at CrimeCon last year, I believe it, and Emily, you can
Mhm.
correct me. Thank you, Mama. At CrimeCon last year, Poot and what's
Jim
his
Griffin.
Griffin, like the whole
Mhm.
team were there, whatever. And I just thought it was so wild, where I was just like, like why are that, like I was very surprised that he was there, right? But like
Yeah,
Gigi said, it's like there's the thing that we see on TV, like, and then there's somebody just doing their job, you know what I mean, of
right,
like,
right.
this is what they're doing, this is what's going on. Pardon me. And so, but at first I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna get good, right? Please hold.
I think they came to be villains, honestly. I think they came to CrimeCon like, maybe people will love us, maybe people will hate us. Either way, more people will know our names, we'll sell some books, we'll get a documentary, whatever it is they were working on at the time. I think that's when they were working on the Fox documentary, um,
Right, you're
with their
right.
story, and so they wanted to have, like, their name out there. And but I also heard that there was, like, not a lot of people at their sessions either.
Yeah, and I tried to remember because again, Emily said it was Orlando. I feel like I can't remember if we went to it or not. There's only some sessions that I remember because especially the second CrimeCon we went to, we didn't get to go to a lot of them, but the first one we did. The biggest one that sticks out for me is, the Woodcocks, going to see them,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
some of, like, the people who, like, and I can't think of their names right off the top, like, some of the people you recognize from TV, like the host of these TV shows and stuff like that, the crime shows
Mhm.
and
Like Court
whatnot.
TV and Vinnie Politan and Dateline NBC, all those
Yeah,
folks, yeah.
yeah. Have you ever gone to one of the crime cons, or would you ever?
No, it's so people-y. People just keep saying, like, "You have to go, you have to go." And if you just watch my channel, right? Or if you talk to me one-on-one, people are like, "You're so outgoing," and I am, but the way I do that is like I'm outgoing in bursts, and then I need to spend a long time in silence and being left alone, and then I can be outgoing again. So the idea of days of just people, I'm tired just thinking about it.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
know that I'll ever go. People keep saying, "You gotta go, you gotta go." And I'm like, I don't know. Can I be in like a hermetically sealed bubble and just like wave to people? Like the Pope Mobile. I could just
Yeah,
drive through,
yeah. That's,
bless the people.
literally how I am too, and, like, it's definitely, yeah, I'm, like, really shy and really, like, I have to recharge my batteries, like, every 2
Yep.
hours, like, my mental whatever. So,
Yep.
yeah, because like, I think when people see, like, you on here or whatever, it's like, "Oh, you have all this whatever," and I'm like, "I'm really boring and, like, kind of, like, quiet and slightly depressive." You know what I'm saying?
Thank you,
Hey,
Effector. Like,
Audra.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For
This
sure.
is like an outlet for me, coming on, especially the
Yeah.
live chats, being able to come in here and be, like, silly or whatever the case is, or,
Yep.
whether I'm laughing or crying or doing both at the same time, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It's like, this is, like, my outlet for that, and then behind the
Absolutely.
scenes, it's, like, not a pretty picture.
Well, you know what's funny? Periodically, Brandy Churchwell will have me like babysit her live stream, and I'm always like, "Oh God!" And the last time she did it, she's like, "It's only going to be from like 8:30 to 4," and it ended up going from 8:30 to 8:30. And I was like, first of all, I'm gonna kill her. Second of all, she got me out here working like a Hebrew slave. I can't be out here working for 12 hours in a row. Like the idea that you sort of have to be on, but at least if it's a trial, then you're like, okay, now the judge or whoever is speaking, I'll just sit here quietly and I'll just react. But when we were on what do you call it? Verdict Watch, I was like, oh my God. It was a lot of me vamping for many hours.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. It's like Sarah Boone's trial, and like so much ended up going on during that trial, so it was hard for me to stream it or whatever. And then, like, I can do chunks of streaming, and that one was okay. Like, it kind of like I was
Mhm.
able to do what I could do or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, doing like the all day whatever streaming like that. Oh my gosh, like
It's
yeah,
not for me. It's not for
it's really
every now and
hard.
then. I love Brandy so much that whenever she asks me to do it, if I'm able, then I say yes. But other times, and I feel bad on the times that she asked me and I couldn't do it. She's like, don't worry, I'll cover it later or whatever. And I'm like, no, I really want to help her out because I love her so much. But then there's part of me that's like, phew, I'm glad I had all those meetings at work because it's a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
I just
100%.
take it as it comes. I just
Yeah,
take it as it comes. And I'll go through my day and I'll keep an earbud in or I'll pause and then I can go back and then I can like listen to 8 hours of trial and tell you all the important parts in 15 minutes.
yeah.
Because of all of that stuff, half of it was like, oh, objection, they're going to the sidebar, they're doing this, they're doing that. Meanwhile, the heifer had on ugly shoes, her mama was crying too loud. Like, that's the part we all want to know. She said,
I
what?
I know, right?
I'll give you all the highlights and
Yes,
I will
100%.
summarize. I will summarize and I might make up a ridiculous nickname for somebody, whatever, whatever.
We love it, we love it, we love it, we love it. Yeah, when I first started doing well, not first, but at some point or whatever, once I got into the trials or whatever, I would do work and have an earbud in and listen and like take notes and then like record a video in the camper, like wherever we were at or whatever, and be like, with my little phone set up there and you'd have to turn the AC off because it was
Yep,
so loud and the whole 9 yards, whatever, and like go over just from memory or whatever, like the whole thing.
yep,
Yeah, it's fun though. It's fun, it's heartbreaking, it's crazy, it's all the things at
yeah.
one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How do
Uh,
you choose trials though? Because like if you're going to be careful about not traumatizing yourself, how do you choose trials? How do you choose what you're going to watch?
You know what? It's like, so I don't know. That's a good question. So obviously some of them, so like Sarah Boone, that was like a no-brainer, right?
Oh
I followed
God.
that for so long.
Yes.
Then like some of them just
Mm.
it's whatever I'm going along with, or it'll just happen, or like I'll
Yeah.
catch it at the tail end where it's like, wait, what is this?
What
Like one of
happened?
them, yeah, exactly. Do you know? Oh my God, I'm gonna forget his name. Y'all help me out. I feel like his first name is Ronnie, and when he represented himself and he screamed his entire like trial, opening statement and closing. Do you know who I'm talking about? And it was a vicious,
No.
vicious murder where he killed, what was it? He killed his, I don't know if it was his wife or girlfriend. Do y'all know who McNeil? Yes, True Crime Amanda. Ronnie McNeil. If you have not seen that, you immediately go after this and you Google Ronnie. Is it Ronnie McNeil, y'all? Opening statements or closing statements. Your mouth is going to be on the floor.
Oh my,
Ronnie
I
O'Neill, yeah.
love a pro se defendant. Who was I talking about? Oh, Ryan Bogwart, the runaway dad, is talking about defending himself. And so I was discussing him the other day, and I did a link to all of the trials that I had covered where it was a pro se defendant. The Ty Tucker out of Florida, the Treehouse murder, Sarah Boone for a period of time was defending herself. There was a couple others. I love a pro se defendant, but like an unfortunate unaliver note that I don't. I mean, I would watch it. I don't know that I would cover it. But the Lori Vallow Daybell, she's talking about she's going to be her own lawyer.
That's
That's
gonna
going to be
be
100 tons of crazy.
Oh my God. So this is my theory. You tell me what yours is too. I
Mm,
think that she's going to use it as a way to, number one, question and victimize people like the Woodcocks.
yep,
Certainly Melanie Gibb.
yep,
She's got some words to say with Melanie,
yep.
if not the whole thing. And then she's going to use it as a sermon. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
absolutely. Absolutely. But also, she's got nothing to lose. She's
Mhm.
already serving a life sentence. She's like, do I want to live over here in Idaho to Iowa forever? Or do I want to live down there and wherever she's living now? I don't even know what that part of the country is called, like California East or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's hot. The desert, Arizona. I don't know where she's at. But she's just going to entertain herself. This is a way for her to entertain herself, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
I'm here for it though. I'm gonna watch it.
100%. And they're going to do the things 2 separate trials. So it's like this is going to
What do you
go
mean?
like the 2 different cases, Brandon and Charles, they're going to treat separately.
I had
So
no
that's my
idea.
understanding. So this could go on. And here's my thing too. I don't think that she's going to, well, there's 2 versions of this. The overall statement is I don't think that she is going to be like, oh, let me get a what do you call it? When you hold off on a continuance or
Oh
whatever.
no.
I think she's gonna be like, no, we can go right now. I've got some notes in my toilet paper. Let's go.
Mhm,
Like I got my
mhm.
opening statement. But unless it is like delayed where it's like, well, you have to delay it to get the Woodcocks on the stand, then she
Right.
would. But if everything's go, then she is going to be like, oh, I'm ready tomorrow. Because I think she's gonna wing the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. She's not gonna take a note. She's not gonna worry about the law. She's like, I just wanted to get up here and talk about whatever crazy thing is tickling my crazy brain right now. And then that's what we're gonna do. She needs to live down at the nervous hospital. I don't know why they have her in regular jail anyway. She needs to be in some serious mental health facility because she's not right. She's not right.
100%. 100%. Now, here's the other thing too with that is so the hearing that she did the other day, like both of them really, but in the recent times, whatever. She sounds, but I think this is Lori's MO that she does all the time. She sounds like very coherent with it, but I think as we
Mhm.
start peeling that layer back, did you listen to the phone call between Colby and his mom? Did you listen to that? So you know how
Yeah.
it starts off kind of like regular, and
Mhm.
then the more like the more her back is against the wall, she goes into this whole. Now, granted, you had the whole thing of it was really Tylee that did it thing, but then like she goes more into the sermon thing, which to me, I'm like, is she really delusional? Because why does she only do that when her back's against the wall? You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
I think she's regular crazy, but when pressed, she gets extra strength crazy. I mean, clearly those are not the technical terms for it, but I think she just got a real ticklish brain. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to Sarah Boone start to talk, right? When she starts talking, you're like, okay, maybe she's making some sense. And then she keeps going, and you're like, oh, wait. Are those English words? I was before we got on here, I was listening to Emily D. Baker talk about Sarah Boone's letter that she wrote the judge, the 28 pages. And as she was reading it, I was like, those are all English words. I've never heard most of those are English words. Some of them she made up. Remember that magnetic poetry where you could just put all the words on the refrigerator? That's what that letter was that she wrote. She's like, I'm gonna scramble them all up, and then I'm just gonna write it down. However, it came out on the refrigerator. That's what I'm gonna write on this piece of paper. That's what her letter sounded like to me.
100%.
Crazy, crazy.
100%. Now, side note, a couple of you, and Tina dropped it, or I believe, Claim Your Crown. I don't know who, but I feel like Tina did it in the chat talking about Colby's going live tonight with a title that says Chad left me a voicemail at 9:30. So for those who don't know, Colby Ryan is Lori's son. Colby Ryan has his own channel, his own podcast. He does a lot of in-depth stuff, obviously, with confronting his mother and things of this nature.
Mhm.
He's very intriguing. So sub to it, but secondly, please, it's totally going to be there. Chad left you a voicemail. Invest in it.
Wait, from jail or like an old voicemail?
Who knows? I don't know. I just saw somebody drop in the comments. So yeah, I'm curious too. If Chad, like, why would Chad call Colby? But here's the thing too. Okay, so I'm kind of jumping around. I'm doing my little
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, totally
ADHD
fine.
stuff over here. Okay, so you know how like in the trial and whatnot, when like Chad's kids got on the stand and whatnot I'm going back to Chad's
Yep,
trial,
yep,
and
yep,
it
yep.
became very apparent that it's like, okay, they don't like their mother, and there's a vibe
Mhm.
here, and they're totally into the Chad thing and probably communicating between him and Lori and all this type of stuff. We don't know what is going on behind the scenes between still, what's his name, Chad, Lori, Emma, you know what I mean? Like the kids and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh.
what if Chad's like, Colby, I wanted to speak to you. Why are you talking to your mother this way? Or who knows? You know what I'm saying? We could
Yikes.
totally see that.
Yikes. I mean, listen, have you heard my theory of the 3 levels of Mormonism?
No, spell.
Okay. So the gospel according to Kathy is that there are 3 levels of Mormonism, right? There's regular, like the nice people who go to church on Sunday and they do like all the nice things. They're Mormons, but they're regular people. They're just like me and you, right? Those are the funeral potato Mormons. And they're lovely people. We probably all know some or know somebody who knows somebody, right? Nate Eaton is a funeral potato Mormon. Very nice, normal human being. Then the next level Mormon is the better than you Mormon, right? They've done all the extra Mormon things. I don't know exactly what all of those are, but they're deeply read and they're reading all the extra books and they know they are just more Mormon than you, no matter who you are. They probably think they're more Mormon than the bishop. And then there's zombie Mormons. That's the 3rd level. That's where they're like, me and Jesus are BFFs. And he told me that I could unfortunately unalive you because now you're a zombie and it's all going to be okay. Because he just was whispering to me 2 seconds ago that it's all okay. So my theory is that, like, I don't know that Chad and Lori, I think they were always better than you Mormons and they just slipped on up to the zombie level of Mormon.
Yeah.
I think that Colby, I don't think Colby is still LDS, but I think he was probably like a funeral potato Mormon. And then he just went off to do something else. He's still a regular person. I have no beef with the funeral potato Mormons. Better than you Mormons. Okay, do you, boo. Just don't unalive nobody. Them zombie Mormons, I can't talk to them. I don't want them on my channel. I don't want nothing to do with that. But I think the funeral potato Mormons don't want nothing to do with the zombie Mormons either. So I thought that Chad's kids were like better than you Mormons. I've come to believe they're probably zombie Mormons. Now, I'm not saying they're out here taking people off, the human this realm. I don't think they're unfortunately unaliving people, but they got a little zombie Mormon on their daddy side. So it's probably not gonna go good for them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's pardon me. Now, when you were saying that, talking about that, first of all, have you ever watched that? No, this is all. I don't even know it's still on. Oh my God, what is it? Love After Lockup.
Yes.
Do you know and I cannot remember her name. It was.
I've been in and out of it on it.
So this is like way back to the woman who was Mormon. And it was like she had her, at the time, boyfriend or whatever, come over for dinner. And everybody was like, her Mormon friends were like, oh my God, you are dating a prisoner or whatever. You know who I'm talking about? And he was the LA gangbanger and they moved to LA.
Oh, yes. I don't know anybody's name, but I know the broad strokes of the story.
Okay,
yeah.
So that was like, they started going off into this level. I was like, huh? Like what? It was crazy. But that just reminded me when you're going through your 3 levels there.
Yeah. I mean,
wait a minute.
I was initially fearful that the 3 levels would offend my funeral potato Mormon friends, but they were like, girl, we know some better than you Mormons down at the church. And I'm like, but every religion has that, every group. Yeah. Like if you're doing yoga, there's a lady who's like, she's more yoga-y than you. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. 100%. If you're making cones down at the Dairy Queen, she's like, I make better Dairy Queen cones than you. Whatever it is. There's always somebody doing too much.
Yeah. One time, so I've done on the topic of yoga. So I'm somebody who like wants to be able to do yoga and whatnot, but just has never been able. Like I can't it's not in my cards. So this is like going back probably 15 years or so. A friend and I were like, we're totally gonna go do yoga. We went and bought all the stuff, whatever, and we went to this thing. Well, I didn't know there's like different levels of like beginner stuff like that.
Right.
So we go to this yoga class, and I mean, when I say they whooped our butts, I'm talking whatever. So the end where they're like, we're trying to like, relax out of this or whatever. Well, at one point, like, so somebody starts snoring, right? And doing something, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, whatever. So we're leaving, we get in the car and I tell my friend, I'm like, oh my God, who was like the a-hole who was snoring or whatever? And my friend goes, girl, that was you. You passed out and woke everybody up snoring. I was like,
oh no. My God.
It was so funny.
Funny.
It was so funny. I was like, oh yeah, okay. So no more yoga for me. I was like, were people looking at me? It's like, yeah, everybody knows you. I was like, well, I did. didn't.
You
I
were
guess
deeply relaxed.
it worked, right? Wore me out, knocked me out. I didn't even know I fell asleep. Snoring the whole
I
nine
once
yards.
went on a yoga retreat up at Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health up in Massachusetts. I forget what part of Massachusetts it's in. It's in Lenox, Massachusetts. And I used to go there all the time before I was married 1,000 years ago. And they only serve vegetarian food. It's like a fully inclusive spa. So all your food is included, all your yoga classes and whatever. And it used to be really cheap. I would go for the whole weekend for $99 years ago, right? I was broke. $99 sound good to me. But the thing is, because all the food is vegetarian and some people are not, their tummies are not really ready for that. You'd be in a yoga class, and anytime they bent over, I was like, no, no, you got to watch where you stand. Don't stand behind people who've never done the vegetarian thing. Don't stand behind the elderly. No shade to our elderly friends with the bubble guts. But I was like,
Oh
So,
my God, I love it. It makes
yeah.
perfect sense. It makes
Yeah, all that bending and stretching and everything gets let loose.
oh
No,
yeah. Oh yeah.
nope, it's
Oh
not
my
good.
gosh. Um, somebody's mentioned it. I have not. So now we're gonna kind of jump over for a second. And if you have something that you're like, oh, Paul, what about this? Just break in or whatever. There's
Mhm.
like so many things I'm gonna talk to you about. We can't fit it all in one little thing. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me about the Chloe Driver sentencing, and I think I'm gonna
I
do a
haven't
live chat.
seen it.
So I literally like grabbed the video today to be able to watch it or whatever, but I haven't had a chance to.
Mhm.
So I think I'll do a live chat tomorrow night to watch because so many people have emailed me talking about like Ben Yamin speaks at this. Did you follow that case at all?
No, that's the
I'm
one where her child was killed. I don't know. I
yeah.
know bits and pieces.
So basically, the headline for it was very salacious. It was, woman kills baby to get closer to cult leader or whatever. But then,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
you know,
I thought she killed the wife. There was like, is that the one where there were two wives?
there's multiple wives, but she only killed her baby.
Oh,
13-month-old Hannah. Basically, they're at a friend's house. They're getting ready to leave, whatever. And so Chloe goes to her room, locks herself in it, stabs Hannah and herself, and is essentially saying, I was insane and whatnot. Well, they found her guilty, but not by reason of insanity. Or I'm sorry, the insanity thing didn't work. But they were like, yeah,
right,
you've got mental illness, but not that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I believe she got a life sentence out of it.
Good.
But on the
She's like
stand,
23. Is she the one that's real young?
I believe so.
Oh,
Um, Hold on. Sal Benyamin on Julie Grant's show wait, are you kidding me? Wait, are we talking about Julie Grant from Lori Vallow? Who is Julie Grant? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Julie
Or
Grant is one of the hosts of Court TV.
okay, never mind. I thought we were talking about who am I thinking of? Julie Rowe. I thought Julie Rowe for a second. I said I am done. If Benyamin was on Julie Rowe, I'm shutting the internet off for like a week. 100%.
Two totally different things. That's so funny. Julie Rowe's a whole kind of crazy. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
Did
ooh,
you
ooh,
ever
ooh.
watch her TikToks?
Yes.
Oh my.
She's scary. She's like, if there's a level beyond zombie Mormon, she's the level beyond zombie Mormon. I don't know what's
Final
happening.
balls.
I don't I don't understand. I don't but that whole group of them, they were like, oh, we were getting together and we were casting out devils. And what? Listen, if my friends got together, like, okay, we're gonna cast the devil out of Sally over there. Sally and her devil ain't none of my business. I don't want no parts of it. No, no, no. Where's my keys? I got to go. If
I
you
gotta
got the
know.
devil in you, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I don't want to know nothing about it. I'm not messing with the devil. I don't even
No.
believe in the devil, but I'm not messing with him.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
no.
Yeah, so that trial was obviously the ones that involve little children are always like really tough and really heartbreaking and really just um
Yeah.
that one there's so much going on because once we heard people on the stand, with Jason and all this crazy stuff, talking, you're just like, what, like how, what, it was beyond next level, the whole thing. Pardon me. So yeah, but yeah, so back to the Julie. So yeah, there's that. So I'll probably do a live chat tomorrow night about that because so many people have hit me up and
Mm.
I definitely want to see it. Hold on, Heather says Nate Eaton just sat there during the interview. Oh yeah, so for those who haven't watched it too, Heather's talking about Nate Eaton's interview with Julie Rowe. Did you watch that?
Yes.
That was, I mean,
Yes. She's extra nuts. I don't understand I don't know if it's that like certain faith paths attract kooky people, or those kooky people are like, oh, I'll go be with these. If you have a similar faith with somebody, you might give them like more credit than you would just an average Joe on the street. But that particular, their sort of branch of it, of whatever they were doing over there, just was so crazy. And they're all reading these science fiction books and how it's going to come true. And we're going to, like, if it's the end times, right? Why we got to be in a tent? Can we be in the end times at the Four Seasons? If the bad people are going to go away, the Four Seasons is going to be available. Why I got to live in a tent? Oh, well, I'm saving up beans and I got a camping stove. No, thank you. What about those of us who don't camp? Look, take me in the first round. No, let me go on to my final reward, whatever it is. I'm not camping. If Jesus is coming back, I don't want to camp. I will suffer, endure the end times at a hotel, preferably with room service. I can't. There's something wrong with these people.
I know, right? Now, let me ask you this about, so now I'm jumping over to Sarah, jumping back to Sarah Boone. Okay, so Sarah Boone, on that, so, she did the letter or whatever, like that's the most recent thing, okay?
The word salad.
The word salad, 28 pages of it. I'm talking bitter. She thought she was giving, she thought she was serving forgiveness. She was giving bitter, right? So here's my thing. So it goes up on that portal or whatever, for the judge and whatnot. I guess at this point, I'm like, now granted, there's two sides to this statement. Because my thing is like, why is she sending this judge stuff? Well, obviously she wants to have the last word. She wants the public to read it, whatever. At what point will they cut that? Like, will they cut her off and be like, girl, this judge doesn't have anything else to do with you at this point. Like, we've all moved on.
Right.
But, because I'm not complaining. All right. I mean, that was an early Christmas present for me, as far as I'm concerned. I need, especially after this week, I was like, I needed that distraction so much. Oh my gosh. Right. But at what point do they say, girl, you're cut off. Don't serve her anymore. No more drinks. 2 weeks off the bar, 3 weeks off the club. You know what I mean?
That's her crazy brain juice, though. Like, if this is her, I assume she's sober. I mean, maybe she found a nice supply of toilet hooch. I do not know. But you can write a letter to whoever you want, and the judge doesn't have to read it. His judicial assistant can be like, oh, this crazy heifer done wrote you again. And the judge is like, okay, just file it, because she's supposed to communicate through her lawyer, through proper channels. If she's not doing that, he just files it. And then we pick it up and we're like, oh, what have we here? Some content for our channel. But don't worry, she's absolved us and she has forgiven all of us. And I, for one, was very concerned that Miss Sarah would be upset with me. I worried about it for 2 to 3 seconds before I commenced to talking trash about her crazy behind. She put that man in a suitcase. What did she think we was going to do? Like, oh yeah, suitcases are the new thing. No, ma'am. No. Going to hell with gasoline draws on, like the deep, deep inner city of hell, where it's terrible all the time. I personally plan to be in the leafy green suburbs of hell, where like the Wi-Fi is slow. That's as bad as it gets. Amazon doesn't deliver all the time. That's where I'm going. She gonna be in the flames. I don't want no parts 100%. Of it. I don't want no parts of it.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Barry, first of all, hey, Dr. Barry, I hope you're doing well. She just said that she thinks that this could hurt her appeal. And you know what? I mean, I didn't even think about that dynamic of it, because, she's already, now I heard this, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here or confirm or whatever. So, she has that new attorney for the appeal attorney, but somebody said in the live chat last night that they heard that he or she already quit, which would be on brand. You know what I'm saying? I haven't confirmed that. I haven't looked. I'm just now thinking of that, but I'm just like, here we go.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching, I just saw it in the comments too. Emily D. Baker was saying that it kind of doesn't matter for her appeal. It kind of doesn't matter what she writes now, because the appeals court can only look at what happened during the trial, not what happened after the trial. Now it might hurt her for like parole or anything like that, like because she's not demonstrating she's sad or she's sorry or whatever. But appeals can only look at what happened during this trial. That's it. So she's just entertaining herself. She got life to look and write letters and act all kinds of crazy. Who knows? But she forgives us, so don't you feel so much better?
We can go to sleep. We can go to sleep with a clear conscience tonight. Well, you know, I was sitting here and I'm thinking, like, because I started my video for the other channel on it today, reading the letter or whatever, and I was
Mhm.
sitting here like talking, well, I guess to the camera, but to myself, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, you know, thinking, I'm like, at some point, I would like to think and hope that at some point Sarah was normal. I hate using that word, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, not how she is that we see her now. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that something happened because people have like sent me pictures of her when she was young and smiling and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, she looks like that looks like an authentic smile, not what we
Yeah.
see now, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm just like, what took place? Because she has made this her hill to literally die on. Like, she could have gotten out in 15 years.
Yep.
She keeps trying to take this narrative and of I'm a martyr, I'm a victim, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the spokesperson for DV, so on and so forth, all this. And I'm just like, does she not, was this better than freedom? Because in my mind, I can't wrap my mind around the fact that she doesn't see what we see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. But here's the thing. She didn't have freedom when she was free. She doesn't have freedom now. It's probably not that different because if she was a slave in that bottle, she couldn't not drink. She had to feel like she was controlling every little thing and controlling George and controlling the ex-husband and running wild. She wasn't free.
Yeah.
So
That's an
this is
excellent
actually probably better for her because listen, I'm a recovering alcoholic, right? I've been sober for almost 30 years. And people are like, oh, you have to hit bottom. Thank you. They're like, you have to hit bottom and then get better. And I don't think that's true at all. You live at bottom for a long time. And eventually you stop digging and getting lower. And so Sarah is still digging. She just using a different implement to do it. So
Yeah.
she was in hell when she was free. This right now, where she is, it's more structured. She doesn't have to worry about paying her rent. She gets to bitch and complain and gripe about every single thing, and nothing ever changes. She's in probably the safest container she's ever lived in her whole life.
Yeah.
And it gives her nothing but free time to complain and write crazy letters and to be the martyr. She's made George's death her entire personality. Okay, girl.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could happen to her is we stop talking about her. That's her nightmare.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. You're
It's
right.
nuts.
Because
I'm not going to stop talking about her for now until something more interesting comes along. But I'm just saying, George Torres, and she's like, would I be the loving mother if I had, ma'am, no, you would not. You were trash before. You are trash now. You were trash. You're going to be trash. It is what it is. And I don't even think she can drive drunk. She probably she got wet brain. She got that Wendy Williams brain going. I mean, you know, Wendy, we wish her all the good health, but come on now. Like,
did Wendy pass away, or is she just completely like she officially has, what is it? What does she have now?
She has dementia and she's not going to recover from it. But Wendy, I'm not going to say nothing about this. Is a public platform. I hope Wendy finds all the healing she needs. There's some videos about her on my channel that if you go on, dig through them and find them, you'll see what I think about that entire situation and my personal history with Mrs. Williams.
Oh, I had to look this up.
Fellow Jersey girl. I've been knowing Wendy for a long time.
Oh, really?
Before she was on TV. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, the Sarah thing too. So like, oftentimes we see this happen with like when these situations like this. So like, say Daryl. Did you follow Daryl Brooks when that happened?
He was nuts.
Like Daryl Brooks, these people or whatever that like do the kind of stuff that Sarah and Daryl, all these people do, and then they go off to prison. And literally, they just fall off. Like everybody forgets. Like their moment's over with. You know,
yeah,
not completely, but just like Daryl, that was so insane. The Daryl Brooks thing, and then it's like he's gone to court for other cases, and it's just kind of everybody's forgotten about him, so to speak.
They're like ho hum, whatever. Yeah, it stops working after a while. It stops working.
And that's what will happen, I think, with Sarah. She'll have a cult following, kind of like Jodi Arias Susan Smith, like these people who are like, they're fans, if you will. I mean, she's
Yep.
not really joke. I mean, they really do have fans. And then of course, like if she does it on the next level, like I still report on Susan Smith or Casey
Mhm.
Anthony or things like that or whatever, when I'm just like, what are they doing now?
But it won't be what it was at the height of like, oh my God. I think Sarah
Exactly.
loved all that attention. Like that's what maybe she's not drinking now, maybe she is, but all of that attention is her drug of choice right now.
100%. That's a
So
great
enjoy it while it
idea.
lasts, girl, because I don't
Yeah.
know how much longer it's gonna last. And that what's the boy's name who was sentenced the other day? Did you see the sentencing of Deobra Redden, the judge jumper?
No, but I know what you're talking about. What happened?
So he goes to court and he gets sentenced for the crime that he committed against the judge when he jumped across the bench and he grabbed her. Now, I reported, probably falsely, that he was hitting her on the head with a gavel. I made that up because I felt that in my spirit. They said she had a head injury and that he had hit her with a foreign object. I thought, if you jump across the judge's bench, what foreign object is handy but a gavel? So I just decided that it was a gavel. Turned out that's not what happened. He grabbed her by the hair and he was banging her head. And so she had a head injury, a neck injury, like she had all these injuries. And he went to court to be sentenced. And he stood up there and he was like, now the psychologist came in and they gave reports and they said, he didn't do what he did because he was having a psychotic break. He has a personality disorder, and that's what caused him to behave in that way. Like, yes, he wasn't taking his medication. Also, he got a real ticklish brain. That's not the technical term, but you know what I mean. So he was like, he had a chance to speak. He was like, Your Honor, I'm very sorry for what happened to the judge. And they act like I don't care about her well-being. I care a lot about her well-being. And I was like, sir, were you there when you jumped across? I was there. I saw the whole thing. It took 3 grown men to pull you off of that lady because she told you something you didn't want to hear. And his family was like, she shouldn't have spoken to him in that tone. She is the judge. He has had a whole bunch of, what is she supposed to say? Okay, poor little tink tink, we're going to send you out in the street to harm others? No. So he got like 25 years or some long period of time. Really? He's going to be in jail. But he was like, you guys act like I don't care. I really care about her. I care a lot about her well-being. You got a funny way of showing it. Like, even on your medicine, sir, we're going to need you to go down to the nervous hospital to do whatever you need to do because you don't need to be out here with the regular non-ticklish brain people. Thank you so much. Like,
did you
I'm worried about the people in the jail too. No.
Oh, I know, right? I'm still completely an advocate for like doing any, I know it's different states or whatever, but like teaming up Sarah, Susan Smith, Jody, like give them a quadruple cell. Let nature take its course, right?
Like survival of the fittest.
I mean,
his eyes out.
The post office will go broke coming out of that county. They'll be like, look, we can't, we got to
with all the mail
power. Like we can't even keep up with the letters coming out of here. Right?
Oh my God. But they could form like a whole super villain, right? They could like come like Wonder Twin powers activate, you know what I mean? And like become a whole super villain. Who knows?
That Thundercats thing where they all come together to make one big thing or whatever.
Yes,
that's 100% they could do. Yeah. Did you ever follow Shabusiness, Taylor Shabusiness?
Yes.
Remember when she attacked her attorney?
Yes.
She was an unwell human being.
I mean, the whole Black Widow sort of situation, it's hard to even describe what she did on a public YouTube channel because I don't want to get you demonetized. But she cut off his whole business, Miss Shabiz.
I mean,
it was a mess.
And then laughed about it and joked about it and smirked about it and all that. I was just like, what? You could tell in her eyes. I was like, this one's smoked. This one's
just, I don't know what they said. It was because like whatever drug she was on or whatever. At least like that Deobra Redden, his mama had smoked whatever sort of drugs when she was pregnant. So he came out messed up. I got the feeling that Taylor started off okay. I don't know where it all went to the left for her, but it was very, very bad. And she left his head and his situation in a bucket. Like, that's just bad manners.
Literally. And like she was just kind of bored of the whole thing. Like that was the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And
I
she
mean,
was like, "Oh man," they were like, "Ma'am, you did this terrible thing and this terrible thing," and she was just like, "Oh dang."
yeah, she was like, "Yeah, and she was
No,
posing for
ma'am.
pictures. She was like, "Get one like this." I'm just like, she doesn't care. She's like, "I'm ready to go. Take me."
And she
I'm
has a child. She had a young child.
which is even scary. I mean, just like, oh my God.
I can't even. I'm like, I wonder who has that kid now. I don't know if it's the kid's dad or her parents or if somebody else has the kid, but that's terrifying.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
100%. 100%.
what's your favorite case that you're following right now? Following right now?
So I don't even know, like, so the Sarah Boone one keeps me the most, let's say, just not distracted, but entertained. You know what I'm saying? Like that one's
Yep.
just
Yep.
obviously keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm following a couple. I'm getting ready to go down well, I shouldn't say getting ready to. I'm going down the rabbit hole of the Avante I can't get the right name right. Avante Devon case. It's local, and
Mm.
it's 100% tragic, but also just one of these things where you're like, what? How did we arrive here? It's in
So what
Fayetteville.
happened? What's the
So
story?
she had adopted kids. Okay, so did you follow the case for comparisons, like, context of Classic and Sincere, aka
Yes.
okay, so similar vibes here. This
Okay.
woman had adopted children that basically out of the blue something happens and it's like, oh well, wait a minute, this boy is missing and has been for a long time. And then it was like, and now wait a minute, his adopted sister, she's been missing too. So literally it comes out of this whole thing. Yeah, Northwest, this is the lady that killed the foster kids. So, and again, I'm just now going through the research stuff right now, so I don't have all the facts and whatnot. It's
Right.
actively going through. She has a court case coming up and whatnot. So that's the context of the kids missing. However,
Okay.
she was homeschooling them. She had this religious homeschool thing set up that was based in, I want to say they started off in Arizona, then they went to Asheville, which is where Chloe thing was from, then over to, I believe it's Fayetteville. And
What y'all
then
doing over there in the Carolinas? I'm
I
scared.
don't know. It's getting turned up in here. Then she has a business, an LLC that owns the home that she lived in. It's something like that. So there's all these like ways that she set all this stuff up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
then like her, and I can't remember, I don't know how this person is connected to the case, but basically somebody calls in with this thing talking about, yeah, I actually had to help her dismember one of the bodies. It's literally almost
Wait,
the level of Lori Vallow.
wait,
And like
wait, wait,
that
wait,
whole
wait, wait,
thing.
wait. I am a very, very good friend to my friends. What I'm not going to help you do is dismember anything. If you need me to help you cut up a chicken, I'm your girl, right? If you're going to field dress a
Yeah.
deer, no, thank you. No, thank you. If you're going to dismember other living human, you already done sent this person off to the endless heaven buffet. And now I'm supposed to help you fillet them over here in the backyard. No, ma'am. No, sir. I'm not that girl.
Exactly.
I'm not that good of friends. I'm just not.
100%.
That's crazy. My favorite case right now, I'm a little bit obsessed with it, mostly because nobody was harmed. And that's the disappearing dad, where he disappeared to Uzbekistan. This dude tells his wife, "Oh, I'm gonna go on a kayaking trip, a solo kayaking trip." She's like, "Okay, have fun." So he takes the kayak and takes a rubber dinghy, and he rows the kayak out into the water, blows up the rubber dinghy, gets in it, flips over the kayak, and is like, "Yeah, babe, I'm headed back towards shore now. I'll see you soon." He rows himself back in the child's dinghy to the water, gets on an e-bike, drives 70 miles through the night to a major city, gets on like a Greyhound bus to Detroit, then crosses over into Canada, and then flies to Uzbekistan to live with the love of his life that he met on the internet. Sir. So they look for 54 days. They're searching for him. The kids are crying. Everybody is like, "Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Daddy dead." Turns out daddy is over in another country where, number one, he probably don't speak the language. Number two, you met a woman from an Eastern European country over the internet, and you gave up your wife, your kids, all your money, your job, your whole life to go live. You know that was some big hairy man. Come on now. He over there living with a bear who speaks Russian. And he was just like, oh, so the police like put out a, APB or whatever. And he's like, oh, hey, police. Hi, I'm not missing. It's fine. And so when he turns back up, I don't know what the wife said, but she's not appearing on camera. I imagine the kids are real, real mad. And recently he came back to the US and turned himself in. And he's just like, yeah, I don't have any money. No kidding, dude. He has I don't know. He left with a bunch of money. I don't know what happened to the money he left with. Something tells me his dream woman in Uzbekistan might have took it. But he was there in the court with family. They wouldn't say what family was there in court with him. And he's like, I don't have any money. I'm going to represent myself. I was like, oh, please do. Please do. Because I can have a whole separate channel just talk about your crazy behind. You went by planes, trains, automobiles, e-bikes, rubber dinghies to fly to another country. You never saw 90-Day Fiance Sarah. So now he's back in the US. His parents have bailed him out. And just today, his wife filed for legal separation. You know she plotting his unfortunate unaliving. She like, let this news die down. He gonna have a real bad accident. When I see him, it's gonna be a misunderstanding. Or maybe that's just me.
I have so many questions. Okay, like, first of all, now I'm not trying to defend this dude in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Is this currently in a trial of some sort right now? Like, what is he charged with?
He's charged with obstruction of justice. Like, the charges are actually relatively minor. He got let out on like a $500 bond, but it was like a $500 signature bond. I don't even think he had to put down any money. He just had to sign something and they let him go. But it was for all the money that was expended for the search, because he chose the deepest lake in Wisconsin or wherever. So they dragged that lake and brought in all these people for 54 days. They looked for his behind. And he was just watching it all play out on the news. Yeah.
You know who he needs to hang out with?
Who?
Is Carly. Cheese Nip Carly. Carly Russell. He might have been up in the hotel room with Carly Russell. Was it around the same timeline?
The blasphemy against Cheez-Its. She defamed the name of the Nabisco Corporation. I refuse to get over it. I'm telling you, she should have gone to jail on the strength of the Cheez-Its and the blasphemy of Target. I will not stand for it. I will not. I need a Cheez-It right now just thinking about it.
What's funny is Matt's. Oh, I know. Matt's dogs, one of their favorite treats is Cheez-Its. And when Carly's situation took place, I was like, I forgot about Cheez-Its. Like, it rekindled my love of Cheez. And I shouldn't even say love. I should say definite issues, addiction issues with the Cheez-Its. I wake up and will literally be like shoving Cheez-Its into my mouth, and the dogs are standing there like, hello, those are they look at those as dog treats, and they're just like, why is he eating our dog treats? Like, why? I don't get this. And I'm like, no, those are mine. Y'all better find something else.
The family size box of Cheez-Its that I bought when that story came out. I was like, this heifer, I can't stand her. Also, now I really, really need a Cheez-It. And so I took them to my desk at work, and I was like, they give away like snacks in the break room, but they have like the little half-ounce bag. I was mad because I was like, I'm gonna look crazy if I take all 12 bags and just take them back to my desk. So I had to have a personal stash of the extra large family size box of Cheez-Its at my desk, under the theory that I was only gonna eat a half an ounce, but I didn't want these people, my job, telling me what I could or could not do. And every time I thought about Carly, I would have another one, and I might have gone through that whole family size box in like 2 days. It was a situation.
Oh my God, I love it.
They're delicious. Also, somebody sent me a Cheez-It Christmas ornament after that happened.
I love that. Oh my God. You know, the whole thing with Carly's whole situation is I was just like, look, girl, I get it. I want to hold myself up in a hotel room with a bunch of Cheez-Its, put my hair up and chill and be with everybody. Like, I get it. But we didn't need to do all this extra stuff.
Right. A clown kidnapped me and was gently brushing my hair. She left a good wig on the side of the road.
Everybody knew. That was the thing everybody was talking about. They were like, nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Like, She blasphemed Cheez-Its. She blasphemed good wigs. I hope that was not like a human hair wig. I hope she bought a wig from like Amazon
I
strictly
know,
for
right?
the purpose of throwing out. Because I'm like, you can't be damaging wigs like that. Justice for wigs and justice for Cheez-Its everywhere. It's a sin and a shame. And she didn't even have to go to jail. I was mad.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
I know. She's so lucky. Well, I mean,
She really
she
is.
threw away a nursing career
Yeah.
completely. All
Yeah.
that, her whatever. I mean, I'm sure. I guess her community, her church, all these people, whatever. Her parents are clearly doing very well. Like
Yeah.
their house,
I think
like
that's
they're
how she got off. She had
yeah,
money parents.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like her parents, I was like, if her parents weren't well and probably connected, I'm
Yeah.
imagining.
For sure. For
So if
sure.
that wasn't going on, pardon me, it could have been, because again, then honestly, just a smear campaign because her ex-boyfriend went on all these things talking about whatever. Because of course, everybody's like, what happened? Like, what,
Yeah.
like, somebody who's going to pull something. It was very Sherry Papini. It was
Yes.
very Jodi Arias. It was
Crazy.
all these things. Yeah, where it's just like, girl, that's like, what was this man like? People were like, we want to see the man.
Listen,
We need to see this man, right? We need to see this man.
they
Oh my
don't
god.
make the man bits that would make me go that crazy. Now, listen, I've been married for a very long time. And so it's like, okay, I love him. He loves me. It's all good. It's a little bit boring 20 something years into marriage. So if I disappear with some cheeses, I would be like, baby, I understand. I'll see you next weekend, whatever. The kids, the dogs, everybody's driving me crazy. But I'm just like, this girl over a dude, she's trying to get his attention and she's sitting back in the bed. And there was a very trashy movie about her on Tubi it was horrible. I loved every minute of it.
Are you
It's called
serious? It was
it's like
legit?
the nurse who ran off with the baby. No, it's like somebody shot it on their iPhone one weekend,
Okay,
but it's
okay.
on Tubi. It's so trash. And it has a real long, ridiculous title. I want to say it's like the nurse who ran off with the wild baby. It's something's real stupid. Oh no, the nurse who saw the baby on the side of the highway, something like that. It's
Oh,
it's not even a B movie. It's like a CDF movie.
how
It's
long was it?
like maybe
Like a 10-minute
65
TikTok?
minutes. Yeah, it's like a 65-minute movie, but it's terribly acted. I don't think anybody was real actors in it. Nobody got paid. I think they just, got a couple iPhones and filmed it on the side of the road. It was deliciously bad. I probably watched it 3 times.
Oh, I love stuff like that. Like, if that had been anywhere local and they're like, "Hey, we need extras to be in this movie," I'd be like, "Please, sign
Yes,
me
yes.
up."
Oh wait, the nurse that found the baby on the side of the highway. I think that's the title of it. Something like that. It was the nurse that found the baby, something like that. But I was like, this heifer is out here talking about I found a wild baby. She just found a feral baby walking outside the highway. Where they do that at? She's like, oh,
That part was so like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, how some of these crimes will come out with them, and the superficial story is so over the top that they're
mm-hmm.
like your little spidey senses are just like,
Like,
mm,
like,
I
mm-mm.
don't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about this, and that
Yeah.
was one of them.
Yeah. Like when Sarah Boone said that she and George were playing hide and seek, but she was not entirely certain how hide and seek worked. She's like, he tagged me and said, you're it. And then I ran and hid. Ma'am. First of all, you might play hiding games with your partner. That's your business, right? But hide and seek, and neither one of y'all knows how it works. No, that's not why. I'm gonna need you to come up with a better lie than that, because you just opened your mouth, looked me in the eye, and lied. Like,
Well, the way she was like, I came downstairs and he was getting in a suitcase. This is one thing that she never did, because like I don't believe the hide and seek thing ever
yeah,
happened,
no,
right?
no, no, no,
Like that
no.
was just like, and the fact that she used that, like of all the things you could cook up, that
Mm-hmm.
was what she went with of like, how am I going to get him in the suitcase, whatever. But then she kept like being gray zone about her story, because remember she's like, I went up and got in the shower, but she made it out to be like she was like laying in the bathtub or something. And
Yeah,
at first I'm like, why, what kind of why, how dumb do you feel sitting in the bathtub up there? But then she's like, oh, I was getting cold. And it's like, were you in the shower? Because remember at one point she said, I was waiting for him to, like, basically do the dirty. So then
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
wait, are you saying you were in the shower, like, taking a shower, and that
It
didn't
didn't make
happen?"
sense. And then
It
if she
didn't
was
make
like,
sense.
we were about to play hide the salami, I'd be like, okay, girl, I'm with you. Then
That's
what
what she meant to
happened?
say.
Mhm, mhm. But then you came downstairs and he was in the suitcase, like, okay, I can flash you a little something. You can come up here. I got a place you can hide things. Like, but
Yeah.
whatever she was doing, no, it was not right. It was not right.
Yeah, no. That she completely yeah, that excuse right there will go down. Did you ever
Crazy.
watch, pardon me, the Nancy Brophy trial? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The fiction writer.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you ever
Oh,
read one of her books?
no.
We should do
Oh,
that
have you
together.
read
That would
one?
be fun. I started to, but my body rejected it because it was so bad. It was so bad. Oh my god. But they were so like, it was like the titles and all that are so good and trashy, like, so wrong. It never felt so good to be so wrong and all this type of stuff. I was just like, "Okay, I'm here for it," and the fact that she took it so seriously, and I'm
Mhm.
just like, "Look, girl, if like" here's my thing, I'm like, "If you were make," because there's some people that will write that make a ton of money doing those kind of books on
Yeah, for
Amazon,
sure, for
and I'm like,
sure.
"Get your money, absolutely, right?" But she
Mhm.
was trying to be up on that stand talking about like, "Well, this is a writing device and a tool that we use." I'm like, "Girl, no." And then when she was
Mm-mm.
like, "Oh, I forgot that I was at the crime scene," I'm just like, That's not how that works." She remembered everything else except like, "I don't know why I was there." And I'm like, "'Cause you were killing him. That's why you were
And she was
there."
caught on video. They have, like, the video of her van going and then coming back, and then my favorite part of that story was that she called the police and were like, "Hey, can you write me an excuse note because the life insurance company is really not paying me this money? So if you could just write me a note saying I'm no longer a suspect, thank you so much." It's like, "Ma'am, you may be a writer,
100%.
you don't know how crime works. That this is not how crime works. It's not. It's not."
Not at all.
But
I
she's where
just
she belongs.
Oh, 100. She doesn't. So I've revisited her case, whatever. Somebody sent me a thing and an article about how his students are continuing on, meaning Dan, the victim, his students
Yeah.
are continuing on this thing that he started with, like, delivering pumpkin pies and stuff like that for the holidays, and they were doing this and delivered them
Oh,
to his parents. It was so
I
sweet.
love
And I
that.
was like, "Oh my god, I love this." So I made, like, a quick update video on it, but I was like, "Okay, well, let me see what's going on, whatever." And going back down, I was like, "Well, let me pull some of her footage from the trial just to, for people who don't know it." And literally, like, the 60 seconds that I did, I was, like, completely triggered. I was like, "I can't with her at all." Like, the way she's talking to her lawyer is, like, just
Mhm.
too I'm like, "Look, this is great if y'all wanna have this conversation in the holding cell, but that's literally a private conversation at this point. Like, we need to get to the facts here. Like, the facts are, you ordered a gun bit by bit. You remember everything, but you forgot that you were at the crime scene that morning. He mysteriously ends up dead after you forgot that you were there. You
You didn't
know,
pay any of the bills in the house, but you kept paying the life insurance, ma'am.
and the best part was when
Mm-mm.
his son read her for filth when he got up there. I don't know if it was victim impact or just when he took the stand, but I mean,
Mhm.
he cut her down to the
Loved it.
ground.
Loved it.
Using
The way
words like
she
Sarah
should
Boone
have
wants
been.
to.
You're
What?
Oh my god. If Sarah I mean, it's funny because Sarah Boone is probably a smart person or maybe was a smart person before her brain was so fully pickled, but she's well and truly pickled at this point. It's something wrong with that lady. It's crazy. Extra strength crazy.
100%.
I can't with
100%.
her. I can't with her. I'm also following a little bit of this Katie Rastelli. It's a relatively new case, but well, it's new in the media. It's gonna come to trial soon, I think in the first of the year. That's the one where the mother, it's sort of like the Dan Markel case, where the mother and the daughter and the brother work together to do away with the ex-husband or I guess she was separated from her husband, and then after they did this guy, they shuffled him off to the endless heaven buffet. Um, she went on Google and was Googling Donna Adelson and what about Katie McBanawal's lawyers and all this stuff. Like, ma'am, maybe you should look for somebody who's not in jail. How long did it take for Donna Adelson to get arrested? Girl, no.
Why?
No, no.
Why did they
And
do
she
it?
accidentally recorded herself incriminating herself in the crime because her, like an iPad, somebody pressed the record button and it was just laying around the house and she was talking about what she had gotten up to or whatever, and it accidentally recorded incriminating. She accidentally recorded incriminating information against herself. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh,
People are
no.
so
Yeah, that
stupid.
I mean, literally.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna be really interested to see Donna's trial. Now, let me
Oh,
ask you about this one. Have you been following or have you followed the Courtney Clenny, the Instagram model girl from Miami that killed?
yes. Yeah,
Okay,
her boyfriend. Her boyfriend. Yeah.
so here's my thing with that one. So, and I gotta follow up to see like how close they are to trial or whatever. Number one, shocked she hasn't taken a plea deal because I'm kind of
Same.
like, girl,
Same.
no. Because remember how when that first came out and she did the whole thing successfully at first of, I was trying to fight this man off, but he
Mhm,
was,
mhm, mhm.
did that, and then over and over. Thank God his family's been so vocal of
Yeah.
getting all this video footage out and whatnot of like every
Mhm.
time we see her, it's like, I mean, this girl's like
She's drunk, she's
violent,
fighting, she's going crazy.
100%. And it's like he's usually like the things that like from what I've seen or whatever, I'm like, because I don't know if you saw the one where she had all the bruises and stuff like that. I'm like, well, probably because he's like trying to get her off of him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But not in like a I'm beating her way, but like in a put you
Right,
like
so she
you're
starts
going crazy.
attacking. Yeah, 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 yeah.
100%. Like that's insane, that case.
Like that lady with, what was it? The Secret Life of Mormon Wives. Did you follow that show at all? Those these
No.
like TikTok moms, that were like, we're Mormon moms and we're having all this wholesome fun, but they were dancing on TikTok, and then it comes out that like a bunch of them were swingers and they were swapping husbands, and then one of the girls, they like, a couple of them got divorced, somebody got run out of town, and then one of the girls is like, okay, yes, I was swinging with all my friends, but we're gonna try and do better now. And then she got pregnant by a different dude, and she got caught on video drunk. I think it was before she got pregnant, she had a miscarriage, and then she got pregnant again. But before she got pregnant the second time by this random dude, not her husband, she was drunk and fighting with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend called the police to like stop her, and she was arrested on domestic violence charges. They have a series on, was it Bravo? Chat, Swing for Jesus. Oh my God. Becky McFord 12 is hilarious. Yeah. I was like,
I
okay.
need to look at I love stuff
The
like that.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Yeah. It's like, the series is maybe 3 episodes or something like that. It's not real long. It's
I
super trashy.
love smut like that. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Hulu. Yes. It's on Hulu. Yeah.
Um,
Crazy.
Now another one, oh wait, hold on, I just had it in my mind. Hold on, what was it? Well, side note, have you been following the whole Casey Anthony boyfriend, but now they're broken up already situation?
I was following that through you. I was
Okay.
watching your videos on it, that he was married and she was swinging in with this. Who is dating Casey Anthony? Listen, you know her kitty is feral. She does everything.
100%. That's all it
She
has
lets
to
you
be.
do it
That's
in a
literally what it
no-no
comes down to.
place. She lets you put it in her nostril, her ear. She don't care. Nothing is off limits. She will do a triple backflip and stick the landing. She'll take
And
with
what
you and all your 12 friends, all the things. But you don't leave your wife for
100%.
that. You go, that's who you see the night before your bachelor party. You don't leave your family for that. That's crazy.
It reminded me
Mm-mm.
when you were talking about that kayak dude, it reminded me of this dude because now it sounds like he's going back to his wife talking about, I really messed up, babe. Honey, you gonna take
Mm-mm.
me back? It's like
Nope.
you had me on the front page of
Nope.
everything talking
Nope.
about pack your stuff, Casey's moving in. No.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Listen,
Absolutely
all the women
not.
of that community will rise up and throw him out on his ear. That's crazy. Listen, it's one thing if you and your partner have a disagreement and you're upset, you have an argument, whatever it is, and maybe the people next door hear a little bit of it. But you got me on the front page of newspapers and you're just showing your whole behind acting crazy. I bet you're not. I bet you're not. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No, sir.
like imagine her, meaning Casey, behind closed doors, like over a basic. I always use this thing of like who left the milk out on the counter,
Right,
like a
right.
basic everyday,
Nothing. Yeah.
normal, nothing kind of, or a normal annoyance. You would have to sleep with one eye open.
Yeah,
Like one eye
for
open. She would take
sure.
you out for that. The
For
drama she
sure.
would put you through over something like that,
Yep.
I mean, big time.
Because she's super crazy. There's probably a certain level of like, oh, this is going to be wild and dangerous and romantic and whatever else. But
Yeah.
nope,
No,
nope.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, people are talking about Corey Richins. That's another case that have you followed that one where she the author or whatever? I'm just like,
Yes. I refuse to get over the fact that she wore a members only jacket on that little TV. She went on the TV talking about, oh, we wrote this book, and she wore such a terrible outfit. Ma'am, you're supposed to have all this money and you're supposed to be helping grieving children or whatever. I'm grieving because of the horrendous outfit that you wore on national TV. Well, not national TV, on local TV. Also, she paid for that spot. She paid the local people and they gave her a little slot. And she's like, okay, I'm going to put on my worst outfit and I'm going to come and I'm going to slouch. Ma'am, you need immediate training. Also, then she got arrested the next day. Horrible. Also trashy. I'm really living for that one.
yeah, 100%. She's going to be another one that will go down in flames because she's going to, like, I think that she just comes off as the type that's like, hold my beer. I can talk my way out of this.
Yep.
Like, I've got this, y'all. Y'all are seeing it all wrong. Like, I've got this. And
She's
I'm just
another
like,
Sarah Boone.
yeah.
She's another Sarah Boone. But her mother allegedly unalived her partner in the same way that Corey got rid of Eric.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
all that drama there.
So her mama was like, girl, just go get you some fentanyl. Listen, this is what you do. You make a sandwich and you do this and you do that. Yeah. She going down forever, ever, ever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
that's his family has the kids now.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing when you see these cases where the kids are left and it's like so in this one, like Corey, she's in jail or prison, whatever you call it, jail, and he's gone.
Right.
Okay, now the kids don't have parents, which
Terrible.
I would argue it's probably good to not have the one that's the murderer left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, obviously they don't need to be with her.
Right.
If this is true and she murdered him and the whole 9 yards, I mean, it's not looking good, but it's just, you see everything that goes down. It's just like, my God. So if they have sane family members to go to, well, then thank God for that. Right.
You can provide them a safe and loving home that's not full of crazy and drama and madness, but the whole situation. She's guilty of everything. Whatever they accuse her of, I'm like, yes. I mean, obviously they have to prove it, but I feel like I just feel it in my spirit. She did that. She did. That's all the evidence I need.
Yeah. I mean, same here. So many of these things that we look at, very rarely, once they start throwing everything out there, right? Very rarely does it turn out to where it's like, oh, you know what? Actually, they didn't do that.
Right.
Or like, oh, okay. Yeah. Once they usually roll out the evidence and it is like, okay, well, let's make sure here, let's make sure we don't have this or that. But especially if it's a Fed case, whatever. I mean, a lot of it's just like, no.
There was so much evidence against her, though. There was so much evidence against her.
Yeah.
Like, and she was just like, well, no, you've misunderstood. But he was saying like, oh, she's trying to poison me again. Yep, that Corey. You know what? You're probably only gonna have to try and poison me once. I'm gonna be like, okay, so thank you so much. This was really lovely. I gotta go. Like, you can't just keep trying to poison me. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, that Corey. Dang her. Like, no, that's not what. No, I'm not doing that.
There is this case, and I don't ever, y'all help me out here, or Kathy, if you know, or chat, whatever. This is old, and I don't remember the name of it. It's a little old lady that ran like not a halfway house, but like some kind of a house somewhere. And
she had people in the backyard.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember they came and she was like, I'm going to go down for a cup of coffee. And she was gone. She was like, you're going to have to find my ass. I was like, look, she's a monster. I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, no, I'm just going to go right down here. I've got a little bridge with my girls. I'm going to be doing some little crocheting. I'll be right back. I've got my walker. Y'all can't, y'all are going to be able to catch me. I'd be gone.
Dorothea Puente, Peppermint PJ.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Peppermint.
I saw that on I want to say Court TV. It wasn't Dateline. It was like a documentary on a Saturday afternoon. Now you just put the TV on and let it play while you're doing other things. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what is this? What is this lady? like Women Who Kill or whatever. My favorite show is that Pink Collar Crimes,
Oh, I
where
haven't
it's
seen
like,
that.
oh my God, what Chad will know where it's at. Where a Pink Collar Crimes, it's like people who did, I don't think any of the women went to prison for like life or anything, but it was women who did petty crimes. This one woman was a soccer mom, although she hated being called a soccer mom, and she was going around robbing banks. And at one point she went to like, she's like, oh, they're at a baby shower, she's like, I'm gonna run out and get some cups, I'll be back. And she ran out and she robbed the bank, and then she came back with the cups and continued on with the baby shower. She robbed the local bank in her neighborhood and, jumped a fence and ran through her neighborhood and came back home with a bag full of cash. And one of her neighbors was like, oh, the schools are on lockdown, they say there's a bank robbery. She's like, really? Wow. Okay, I'm gonna take my bag and go in the house and stay safe. Like, it's a crazy story. And the woman who committed the crime is there being interviewed on the TV. It's the best thing ever.
I
The
love
best thing
stuff like
ever.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love stuff like that. Yeah, 100% I'm gonna have to check that out. I just watched or started to, and I can't remember if it was Worst Roommate Ever or Housemate, or it's one of those, like whatever. And the
Mm-hmm.
first episode was this woman who, and I don't know if it's season 2 or whatever it is, but basically it was like her and a girlfriend, but not in that way, like a
Yeah,
girlfriend.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they live together. Girl A or woman A has child. The other girl is kind of introvert, whatever. So their whole life goes on or whatever. So basically she's trying to kill her and get the kid. And she's doing all this type of stuff. And like the FBI eventually gets in there, like, yeah, she ordered Versa or MRSA through the mail and was putting it on your wounds. Then that didn't kill you. So she got the MRSA. And even this woman's like, no, she wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that. And then they were like, well, what about insulin? And she's like, yeah, I've been having these insulin things and going to that. Like, it was so obvious she was trying to kill her. But I was just like, that's so cute how not naive, but she doesn't want to believe. I mean, it's sad. This person is trying to kill her. I guess you wouldn't expect it, but it's so obvious. It's just like, honey, she's been unhinged. You know what I'm
I
saying?
sort of assume that everybody is the killer unless they prove that they're not. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, I
yeah.
don't like to take Ubers because I'm convinced that all Ubers are killers. I'm just like, I'm not calling up on my phone or whatever to have a random stranger come to my house so they can unfortunately unalive me. No, thank you.
I
No,
know,
thank you.
right?
Also, where do you order MRSA from? You get that from Amazon? Where'd that come from?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know where she got. That was the other part where I was like, you can, because that was the thing with they charged her with like a terroristic biological, like it was like a
yeah,
crazy crime.
yeah, yeah,
Where it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
why would you order it? It was like off the dark web, they said.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
I'm
you
sure.
know, and I'm
Because
just like,
the light
yeah.
web was like, oh no, no, we can't. No,
Can't do
you
the
don't need a
MRSA.
certificate. You're gonna have to get some background checking happening.
I
Yeah,
mean, seriously. Yeah, because I wouldn't even, I'd be like, why would you even want that in your possession? Like, for
right.
fear of like
What if
getting
they
on
just get it
yourself.
on you? Yeah, like they talk about what is it with Corey Richards kept buying fentanyl, and one of her messages or tech messages or whatever, she was just like, they say if you touch it, you die. It's not that easy. I keep giving it to him, and he keeps not dying. Like, first of all, don't put that in a text message. Number one. Number two, don't try to usher people off this mortal coil. It's bad karma. But like, ma'am, no, no, nope, nope. That's not how that's supposed to go. Not at all. Not at all.
Not in the least.
It's a lot of
Oh,
crazy people in the world. A
oh
lot
yeah.
of crazy people in the world.
I mean,
But I
that's
mean,
the
listen, if there
thing.
weren't, we wouldn't have channels. So what are you going to do?
Right? It's like, I mean, that's like sitting here and like kind of being, how do you put it, like the viewpoint into the life that we see through following true crime and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, my God, the things people will do. Like, you never know who has like a dead body at their house, or you know what I'm saying, like in their car, or whatever, and it's usually not who you think, right? It's like
Yeah.
someone who's trying to portray like I'm more worried about the person who's trying to play it off like I'm perfect, everything's
Right,
wonderful,
right.
everything's
If you're a
shiny and
little bit of a
happy.
mess, if you're a little
Yeah.
bit of a mess, it's like, okay, I trust you. I
Yeah,
trust
yeah, yeah. It's like I need something, but other, I'm like, no, they've got dead bodies somewhere. I just can't prove it yet.
It was during the pandemic, right? I'm on a work call. And so it was like, like the weekly meeting or the monthly meeting, whatever it was. So I'm on Zoom and it's like all these little boxes, right? And so they're talking about like different things that are going on at work. And they're like, oh, so and so died, whatever. And I unmuted myself. I don't even know what I was thinking. Clearly, I was sitting home watching too much true crime. On a work call, I unmute myself and I said, who killed him? And everybody's eyes got really big. And then I was like, oh, probably everybody doesn't think like me. And so my boss was like, well, Kathy, he was, 80 years old. He died peacefully in his bed, whatever. And then I thought to myself, oh, poisoned. But I didn't say that out loud. So I feel like, that was a bonus on my part. But the way everybody's eyes got so big, I was like, oh, I guess their brains work different than mine. Because the minute somebody dies, I think it's an incomplete sentence unless you say, oh, Sam died because he had a heart attack. He was hit by a car. He was grievously ill, whatever it was. I want to know. If you just tell me somebody died, I think it's rude not to say how. And also, I will automatically assume that somebody shuffled them off this mortal coil.
I know, right? Exactly. Well, imagine how many people got away with stuff even like 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
Like, but they didn't
Absolutely.
have the technology that they do now, or the cameras and things of this nature and
Right.
whatnot. Oh, please.
So, like, think about the Unabomber. He sent bombs. I forget how many he sent, like 7 bombs or 8 bombs, however many it was, for like 20 years. It took them 20 years to catch him. And then this dude who shot the CEO the other day, it was like 5 days he was caught because of the cameras and somebody recognized him in McDonald's or whatever. But it's like theoretically, he could have gone on for a very long time in a different age. If he had committed that crime in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, maybe even the 90s, he might not have ever been caught.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, forget about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pardon me, 100%. 100%. There's a crime going on, or not a crime, a trial going on here locally in Raleigh right now. The gas is a gas station thing of the owner, and I don't know the details, but I know the jury went to the gas station today to look at it. He killed some dude, but he wasn't arrested for it until like months later or whatever. And I know there's some confrontation that broke out between the gas station owner and this dude or whatever. And so that's going on here. But people in the comment sections and stuff are like, I go to that gas station all the time and the owner's totally legit. Like, what happened? And then I don't know, but it's just, I don't know what made me think of that, but it's just local drama.
Well, listen, in New Jersey, you're not allowed to pump your own gas, thank God. And so the gas station is where you check your emails, you look at your social media, you respond to text messages, you sit there in the warmth of your car, and the nice man pumps the gas the way the Lord intended. I don't know why people get out of the car at the gas station.
Do you have to tip them?
Nope.
Is it expected? Like, what's the social norm surrounding it?
You roll down your window, you tell the nice man how much you want, and then you check your text messages. And when he's done, you give him your card or your cash, and then you just go on and go.
Because it's just, why? So why do they? I would love them to do this everywhere. Why is it that way in Jersey?
It's the law in New Jersey because apparently at one time somebody pumped their own gas and they blew up the gas station or burned down the gas station. It went all the way to the left. And also, I think initially it was like a job creations initiative. It was like, oh, we're creating jobs for people if, we have these jobs of pumping gas. Yeah. Overwhelmingly, it's like the owner's nephew who's pumping the gas.
Yeah.
But all they do is pump gas. There's no self-service at all. So when I'm in other places, I always get if I'm traveling, I get a rental car. I make sure that they fill it up and I prepay for all the gas because I can't be out here pumping gas like some kind of commoner. I'm a delicate flower. Plus, now all the pumps don't have directions, and it's often years from like I pump gas one time, the next time I pump it, it might be 3 years later, 5 years later. So there's not always, now that they have digital ones, I think it's a little bit easier. But when the gas gets low, it's time. My vacation's over. No, I got to go back to my home state. I can't be pumping gas. Mm-mm.
I tell you what, think about, like, in this day and age, why gas stations don't blow up more often just because of people, like, not paying attention.
Yeah,
Like,
smoking cigarettes, the cars running,
I
whatever.
mean, literally 100%. This is
Yeah.
one thing that throws me off, and I don't know what gas station does this, but literally, like, I've entered that zone in life now where I'm like, "It's a conspiracy. They're trying to get our money this way." So, like, when I go, it has 2 pumps, but it's not diesel. It's like this other kind of unleaded and this, but it's like red, red, blue, blue, but it's opposite. I'm like, "They're trying to make me pay for the $4 fancy gas by switching the colors up on me, but I've got them. I'm gonna reset this whole transaction." But I'm just like, okay, I mean, granted, it's me, so this is normal. Like, I mean, I get confused by simple things like this, but I'm just sitting here like, no, this is absolutely not. If they didn't make the diesel pump to where you couldn't put it in a car, like the size wrong, I would have already destroyed numerous cars with this. Like numerous cars. Like they should
Oh my
absolutely not let
God.
random people pump the gas, like
A
completely.
friend of mine's dad he was like, I'm going to save money. I'm going to change my own oil. And whatever he did in changing his oil, he totaled his car. And it's just like,
That would be me.
yeah, right. I know where the fluid. I started to say the lighter fluid, the windshield washer fluid. I know how to put that in. I know how to pump the thing. But if my sons will do it, I'm like, oh yeah, boys, mommy needs washer fluid. But if pressed, I can do that. But the rest of it, it's not for me. It's not for me. Mm-mm.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my dad he was a mechanic, and his thing was before I could get my license or whatever, permit, whatever you call it, he was like, "You have to go out there with me, and I have to be able to change a tire, change the oil, do all this stuff." Well, I'd already kind of knew how to do that because I would do that with him when I was a
Right,
kid.
right,
Well, at this point, I was an angsty teenager, so I was just like, "Well, I don't need to drive that bad, so we don't have to do all that, whatever." Until he got mad and went out there and just did it with me. Like, okay, let's just go do this because it's like whatever. And
right.
yeah, my first car was a '77 blue Buick Regal, and we
Oh
named
my
her
God.
Big Bertha. And let me
Oh
tell you
my
what,
God.
she was Big Bertha. Bless her heart. By the time I was done with that car, my dad was like, I paid $100 from the neighbor for it. And he was like, "You're going to destroy your first car." I was like, "Dad doesn't know what he's talking about." But when I was done with that car, the back window was broke out. You had to start it with a screwdriver. It was so bad. It was so
Oh my
oil. What's oil?
goodness.
I don't oil. We put oil in the cars. This hill, going up a hill from school, it'd be like, brrr. I mean, I trashed that car. Oh my God.
Oh
Trash
my
that car.
God. I had a Chevy Cavalier wagon that was supposed to have power steering, but the power steering had gone out, and I was like, it's fine. And, it
Gotcha.
had ball tires. I drove it from Terre Haute, Indiana to New York City, where I sold it for food money. And then I rode the subway for years and years and years. So when we decided to move to the suburbs, I was like a little grandma, like hands at 10 and 2. I was terrified. I had driven since I was a kid, but I hadn't driven in years and years and years. And I was like, these things are dangerous. I don't know why they let regular people on the road in these machines. And now, I'm a daredevil out there with hands at 10 and 2, driving slow. But still, I do
Right.
my best. But I've never had a ticket. Well, I've never had a ticket that was warranted. I'll put it like that. Sometimes people just lose their minds and they misunderstand. And so I periodically and from time to time I've gotten a couple, but none of them were my fault. Exactly.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Exactly. I can read, but just not no parking signs, apparently. So
Those get you. Those get you.
oh, the worst. The worst. Wait, Emily Flotilla wants to say, she's asking, how is Spike? I'm going to give you a Spike update, but then I still have to go pack. I am flying early in the morning.
Oh, yes, 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 yes,
So,
yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah,
so
absolutely. Give us our Spike update and then we'll wrap it up. I don't want you to be all staying up, missing your flight, being like my
that would be
pink
terrible.
sofa.
That would be terrible. I'd be stuck here. Anyway, so look, for those who don't know, Spike is my neighbor's dog. We had new neighbor. I've lived in the same house for 20 some odd years. The neighbor that lived next door had lived in her house for 40 years, and I live on a cul-de-sac. So when somebody new comes in, all of us were curtain twitching, like, who are these new people? We don't know what's going on. And in North Jersey, dogs, particularly small dogs, are in very, very, very high demand. Everybody loves their dog, and everybody has a Yorkie or a Yorkie poo. I believe there are 7 of them that live on my block. Like, there's a lot of them. So imagine my surprise when a random little Yorkie is just walking down the street. And I was like, the dog gods have answered my prayers. I'm getting a free dog. Now, I already have 2 dogs, and my husband does not want another dog. But if we found a dog and we're saving it, then, it's not my fault. So I go out and I'm trying to lure this. The dog is probably 3 pounds. It's teensy. I'm trying to lure it to come to my house, but it won't come. And it keeps barking at me and running away. So I'm like lining up treats down the sidewalk. I got a blanket. I got a leash. I look like a cartoon. I'm like Elmer Fudd trying to capture this stupid dog. And it keeps running away. But I decided to name him Spike. And so then he disappeared. And then a few days later, I saw him again. And I was like, Spike is back. And my husband is like, who is Spike? And I was like, this little dog, I don't know where it's coming from. And then first of all, he was like, that dog has to belong to somebody. It's tiny, it's cute. The dog's name is not Spike. And I was like, I will call him not Spike. But I'm telling you, I have to save not Spike. And so for weeks, he would just be there and then he would be gone and be there and be gone. And I kept trying to capture him. And then I noticed he was going on the new neighbor's porch and he would bark at me real hard. And my husband was like, maybe he belongs to the new neighbors. I was like, that could not possibly be. Why would they let their dog walk around? And my curtain twitching neighbor from across the street, she's lived on the block for 50 years, was like, did you see how they let their dog just walk around? And I was like, it belongs to them. So I decided that I was going to kidnap, rescue, adopt, not Spike, and save him from the terrible life that he's living at that house where those people just let him roam the streets. But turns out he's real crafty, and I have not been able to catch him. And it's been nearly a year now. But periodically and from time to time, but apparently because I live in this kind of neighborhood, people started calling the police on not Spike. They were like, oh, there's a dog roaming around. So the cops kept coming and not Spike would run and hide from the police. And so somebody said his government name is like Buddy or Teddy or something like that. I don't trouble myself with that. His name is not Spike to me. So somebody told the cops, oh, not Spike lives in that house over there. So the cops came and knocked on the door and told the people, if you don't keep the dog in the house, we're going to take it to the shelter. And my sons are like, if we see that dog, we're going to take it to the shelter. I was like, right, but bring it to me first. I just want to pet him because he's so cute. So he's been kept in the house more. And there's one of the little boys that lives next door. He's real chatty. He's my favorite. His brothers don't talk that much. But that little chatty one is like, his name is Buddy, and it's my grandma's dog, and he's 17 years old. And the cops said that we have to keep him in the house. Otherwise, they're going to come and take him to the pound. So if you see Buddy or Teddy or whatever, not Spike, just let us know. You can bring him back home. I said, well, I have not been able to catch him. Oh, yeah, he's real crafty. He knows how to outrun everything. So not Spike is fine. I keep trying to rescue, find, adopt, steal, save him, but he's still alive too. 17 years old, 17 or 18. I forget how old the kid is. Yeah, he's teensy, and I have a couple of pictures of him up on my Facebook page. But I wrote a children's book called The Adventures of Not Spike, which is the story that I just told you, slightly fictionalized. And the little girl, it's a little girl in the book instead of a grown-ass woman trying to kidnap a dog. Trying to rescue a dog. But the book is on it's in the community. There's a link to the book in the community tabs. It's called, I think it's called The Secret Life of Not Spike.
The Secret Life. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I love Not Spike. I miss him. And every time I see him, I'm like, it's Not Spike. And then he runs away. He barks at me a lot. He don't like me. But I'm going to win him over.
I bet you will, as you have done so many here on YouTube. This was so much fun having you on the sofa. Oh my gosh, we have to do this again.
Fun. Absolutely. When I'm back home in Jersey, I'll have my Cheez-Its ornament. Yes. You could see my dogs. We could go look for Spike together. We're gonna have so many adventures.
I would love that. I would love that.
I would love it too. I would love it
Um,
too.
so yeah, everybody who now, if you don't know now, you know. So follow Miss Kathy, Gossip, Rumor, Innuendo. Her channel links in there, and then the thing below, and the whatchamacallit, the description box, whatever you want to call it. And thank you again for taking time out of your being away from home to come hang out on the sofa
Thank you,
and
thank you, thank you for
doing all
inviting
that,
me.
and we'll definitely do it again. And thank you, mods,
Absolutely.
for keeping me in line and the sofa cushions fluffed and everything going and all that. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out and the laughs and the conversation and the super chats and the good times and all of the above. We do appreciate
Mwah,
it. So
mwah.
y'all have a wonderful evening. We will see Kathy again here on the sofa soon. And
Absolutely.
I will see y'all probably tomorrow night while we do or I'll put it on the thing or whatever and let you know what time. So it'll be early evening, but we'll watch that Chloe thing. Thank you,
Awesome.
everybody. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Good
Sleep